Hello, and welcome to episode 122 of Nugget's Dungeon Terrain. In this episode of Monster Shorts, I'll be creating 3 different creatures. First up, and I'm using this XPS foam to make a time golem. The strips that I'm cutting here will become the main parts of the body and the limbs. I used all kinds of junk to attach the different sections together, and then I used some balsa wood to create the arms. The different little clockwork pieces are just ripped out of those small car toys, the ones that you pull back and when you release they take off. These were left over from some of the post-apocalyptic set pieces that I did. Here's the elbow, and here's the wrist. I'm going to bend them at these points and then put some glue in to make them stronger. These arms are going to be attached to the body using some cogs, so it's going to look like they're giant hands on a clock. The front of the construct looks like it's a fairly simple clockwork creature, but on the back there's more than meets the eye. I'm using a green and a red Christmas light to make it look like there's some kind of magic crystal that has been added to this creature. It'll be this part that makes the time golem much more dangerous. It's able to stop and manipulate time. I added a few small beads to the back of the head, and to make it look like there was something a little bit more elaborate going on, I connected two of them together by placing a small hooked wire. The next project was inspired by a small amount of polymer clay that I had left. I wanted to make a rat swarm, so I went about making each rat individually by rolling into a ball and then rolling one end away as a tail and then squeezing the head. By itself it doesn't exactly look Games Workshop, but together it didn't turn out too badly, and this experiment kind of paid off. So some of them didn't turn out too bad. I managed to actually get a couple of ears on a couple of them, and a couple look like overfed hamsters. And finally for this episode I wanted to create a Vengeful Spirit, something like this character from a Star Trek The Next Generation episode. To start off with, I used this plastic body that had pretty much everything cut off it. It was going to go into the oven and I wasn't sure how that would react, but I wasn't going to use it for anything else, so I just gave it a shot. Covered it with this particularly soft polymer clay and drooped it over wherever I could. As I applied the bottom half, I twisted the clay, kind of like you might see in a cartoon genie. I was hoping this would make it look more ethereal and like it would be hovering. This piece went into the oven with a batch of other polymer clay bases. Each of the things that you see here is going to have other things attached to it before it's a finished piece. There are two different types of clay here, one set 120 degrees and one set 140. So I set the oven to 130 and put it on for 45 minutes, and I'm happy to say they all worked out. I attached the model to a washer base. I used this Yoo-hoo glue, and because I knew it would take a while to heal over, I just propped it up with a toothpick. I put a very thin piece of plastic on top of a magnet and then attached the monster magnetically to that handle. I then used this fabric glue and drooped it over the top and allowed it to drizzle down over, just finding its own form as it went. So, thanks again for watching. Let me know in the comments which of these you think worked out the best.